Hey, it's Katie. I'm in my little sister's room because she fell asleep on the couch. And it's 4 a.m. and everyone else in my house is asleep. And I don't want to wake them up. So I'm going to try not to be super loud. If you hear a noise in the background, that is my sister's bunny hopping around. I don't really know where to start with this, and I want to be very careful because I want to be sensitive of Trisha's feelings. I don't know what she's going through. I don't know anything about her really except just what I've seen. I'm not trying to attack her at all. And I don't want this to come off as me attacking her. I just want to try and explain a little bit why people are upset. I'm sure people watching this know, but I'm hoping she will see this and understand why people are upset. And this is not an attack. And I'm not saying you don't have DID. I'm trying to say you should not talk about it in the way that you talked about it. Everyone's experiences with every disorder are different. So I'm not trying to invalidate yours. I think you probably should have done more research before talking about it and telling people this is what the disorder is, this is what it's like, because you have more subscribers than most of the people on YouTube who make their channel about educating people on the disorder. So people who are your viewers who watch that could potentially see it and think, okay, well, she has this disorder, so she knows what she's talking about, and take that information as the truth. And I don't know that you were purposely spreading misinformation. I don't think you were. Again, I don't know you, so I can't really tell what your motives are, but I don't think that you're purposely doing harm. I think you just don't understand that you're doing harm, and I want to explain it to you. I listened to a podcast you did a little while ago, and you were saying that you don't understand why people were upset over your trans video. And so I'm thinking maybe you don't understand again. So I'm really genuinely just trying to understand where you're coming from and explain in the best way that I can. If you have DID, then you will already know that it is very difficult to live with. And you did say that. It's very difficult to live with for many reasons, partially because of the dissociation and not knowing what's going to happen and all of that. But there is so much stigma around DID. And so many people with DID deal with other mental health issues, depression, anxiety, eating disorders. And it's so hard when you have the diagnosis of DID to get help with anything else that you have because people don't believe you. So I understand how hard it is being told that you don't have something. If you do and people don't believe you, I don't know if you do, but I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt that you really believe this about yourself, and you very well could have DID. I know it's so hard being told that that's not true. The thing is that the information that you're putting out was not researched well, and it was not correct in a lot of circumstances. And so if this is the idea of what DID is in people's minds, they're getting incorrect information, then that adds to the stigma that everyone, including you and anyone else with DID, has to face going forward. I've been hospitalized a few times, I don't know how many, for suicide attempts. I think 4 times. 4 or 5. I have a really bad memory about a lot of things in my life. So, no, but the first time that I was hospitalized for a suicide attempt, and for the record, that's also really scary because you can have points in time when one or more of your alters feels suicidal and you don't. But if you don't have control over them completely, and when they come out, you still have to go and be hospitalized or be kept safe, otherwise you don't know what they're going to do. So that happened to me, and it was important for the hospital to understand that not all of my alters are suicidal, so that I don't get discharged before I need to be if I seem like I'm fine, when there are other alters, when they front, they will be basically despondent. My alter Makani already spoke about this experience on the channel, but I'm not expecting Trisha to go back and watch any of my other videos. That would be asking kind of a lot. So I was hospitalized the first time for a suicide attempt, and it was done by one of my alters. And I got in the hospital, and when I explained to them that I have DID, and at that point in time, I was professionally diagnosed with DID, the doctors there did not believe it, did not believe in DID. The doctor I was assigned did not believe in DID, and as opposed to saying, you should go somewhere else that can treat what you have, she decided, we're going to keep you here and try and convince you that you're lying. We are going to try and convince a suicidal person that what is wrong with them is insignificant and not real. I was yelled at by the staff in front of everybody and called fake. I was told that I was just asking for attention because I was crying in group therapy. I was treated like I was not a human because of what I go through. And that is not the only time that has happened by mental health professionals and people who should be helping me just because of the disorder that I have. It is not something positive. It is something that saved my life. But at the same time, it is something that other people have torn me down for so much. I've been told by religious people, and I'm not saying that all religious people are like this, but specific people, on a church retreat I was on with my boyfriend at the time, I was told by them that I was possessed. They started pushing me to the ground, trying to get the demons out of me or something. That was when the suicide attempt happened. And others, at first they thought that I was attention seeking, just like most people think. And like people are saying about you, which is why I sympathize. I've gone through being hospitalized for an eating disorder twice. And even when I'm in the mindset of wanting to recover, some of my alters might not be in that mindset. And so when I thought, oh, I should be able to leave now, I'm fine, I couldn't because there were altars still coming out during meals and controlling what I ate and keeping me there. And I got yelled at again. I haven't even spoken about this on the channel, but at the eating disorder treatment center, I was told, you're not allowed to switch. You're only allowed to talk about your altar to your altars to your therapist in one-on-one therapy. You're not allowed to mention them by name. You're not allowed to talk about them because that's just encouraging them to keep coming out. We have to pretend they're not there and they will go away. Well, I can't control either when my altars come out. There are times when I can try and trigger them out with positive triggers, things that they like to get them to switch. Or I can ask them because I have communication with some of them. But a lot of the time, I have no control over that. And at that point in my life, I had even less control than I do now. So I couldn't make them just not come out. I couldn't stop them from coming out. And so when an altar did come out, Makani, again, my altar who can't speak, the same one who was berated at the church and the same one who was torn down at the mental hospital, I was yelled at by a staff member in front of everybody once again because Makani was out. Makani tried to walk away. So because she can't defend herself, she can't speak, she knows sign language, and she was told to stop doing that. Something along the lines of like, I'm not paying attention to your gibberish or all of this or something like that. So Makani tried to walk away because she can't speak, she cannot control, she can't really defend herself. And people ask me a lot in the other videos, well, why didn't a protector come out? Why didn't somebody else come out? Because Makani's trigger is being ignored, discredited, interrupted. And in those circumstances, she was repeatedly receiving that trigger over and over and over again. So she tried to walk away from the staff member. The staff member followed her and continued yelling at her. She was literally backed into a corner, sitting on the floor, trying to cover her ears and escape being screamed at by somebody who's supposed to be helping us. And just sobbing, and she just continued to yell as we just sat there, crying, curled up in a ball. And at that time, after dinner that night, which we didn't even go to dinner because we were too upset, we got in trouble for that. Had to have stupid fucking Boost pushed down our feeding tube. We told our therapist, the one who told us we can't talk about our altars, what happened. And she didn't take any credit for it, even though she was the one who instructed the staff to act this way. She basically said, oh, I'm sorry that happened, but you still can't talk about your altars, even though we had been explaining to her for a long time that this was hurting us, and now something really traumatic had happened. I don't want to go into details because if I say the words she was saying to us, it will be incredibly triggering, and I've blocked a lot of it out. And also, I wasn't out at the time, so I don't remember a lot of it. But I know it was bad enough that other patients, not me, I didn't file a complaint. 2 of the patients that witnessed me being screamed at were so upset by just having to see this happen in a place where that was supposed to be safe and healing, a recovery situation for them. That disrupted their recovery, just having to see me be screamed at like that. Their parents filed complaints. I have lost friends because they either don't believe that I have DID, they are scared of me because I have DID, or it's too hard for them to be friends with somebody who's constantly changing all the time. And I struggle a lot with feeling like I'm too much for everybody and not enough for anybody. Because so many people just, they don't want to deal with the trauma that comes with that. It is too hard for them to see someone they care about going through flashbacks and PTSD and being in pain. There are things that happen to me that I can't even talk about on the channel because I'm afraid. I'm afraid that if I ever go to court for what happened, they can use the fact that I have DID to say that I'm crazy and discredit me. Well, look at her. She's just acting like different people all the time. We can't take her seriously. She's obviously insane. We can just dismiss this and discredit her and invalidate everything she's saying because she has a mental health disorder, because she has multiple personalities. I don't even tell almost anybody in my life, including people that I do trust, the majority of the things that I feel, think, the things that my alters feel and think, the things that go on in the system, because I'm so afraid of how people will treat me. And it's so hard when I see things coming out that further perpetuate that idea of what I go through. In your second video, you were yelling and you were very upset, which I can understand to a degree. There are a lot of people who are saying that you're lying, and I don't know, because like I said, I don't know you. I'm going to give you the benefit of the doubt. But sorry, I'm dissociating the words. Just what was I gonna say? In your second video, you were talking about Split and how people find it offensive and we should just get over it because it's just a movie. Yeah, I mean, it is just a movie, but a lot of people saw it. Just like a lot of people are going to see your video. In the movie, the reason why Split upsets people with DID is because there is already such a stigma around DID that it's not real, or that people with DID are dangerous when there's no proof of that ever being true. And Split portrays a person with DID as a murderer. I have had people, I will tell people I have DID when I feel like I'm getting close to them enough to trust them with that. And they will come back and ask me, who's the evil alter? Who's the murderer one? Oh, so it's like Split, and then they won't talk to me ever again. This has happened to me more than once. So yeah, now that you've said you have DID, I just want you to be prepared for people a lot worse than what people have already said, because that comes with everyone who has DID. It's not just you. Oh, I said I have DID and now everyone's attacking me and saying it's not real. Everyone who has DID who opens up about it will go through that. I don't know anyone with DID who has not been told, you're faking it. It's not real. No, you don't. It's not just you who's being told this. It is all of us. Also, be prepared now to be told that you're violent, that you're going to kill people, that you're scary, that nobody should ever trust anything you say from here on out because you're just a crazy person. I'm not saying any of those things are true about you. I'm saying that is the stigma that comes with DID, and that is the stigma that you're perpetuating for all of us and yourself. I'm just trying to help you and all of us by explaining why people are upset. Because I really don't think that you know. I don't think you know why. I really hope that, again, I'm giving you the benefit of the doubt. I'm saying that you do really have DID. I really hope that you will look over the video that you posted, do some more research, figure out the parts that you were wrong about, the parts that were perpetuating a stigma, and the parts that were misinformation, which you probably heard from other people. Because there is so much misinformation about DID out there. You probably heard a lot and just didn't think, oh, that's misinformation. You probably assumed that it was real. And that's understandable. You are probably talking about the things that you've heard about the disorder, which you took as true. I just want you to do more research. Realize which parts of your video were spreading misinformation. And sit down. You can sit down, make the video again, and correct the things that you said wrong before. Do more research. Think about what you're going to say in the video. Plan it out better. And try to get people on the same page as you. I'm really having a hard time right now thinking. Trish, I feel for you. But I think you should take your video down. And I think you should redo it. Do it better. Don't do this to yourself. You are not just hurting the community. You're hurting yourself. This is going to affect how people treat you. The way that we've been treated is due to how people see the disorder incorrectly. Misconceptions that a lot of people have about it. And you're just furthering that for all of us and you. I don't want you to have to go through similar shit to what we went through. I don't want you to have to be told you're gonna fucking murder people now. I don't want you to have to be told that you're crazy or that you're faking or that you shouldn't be believed or that anything that you say from here on out is not worth listening to because of this. I want you to help yourself and all of us in our system, in every system, and really think about why people are upset and why this is damaging. The reason people are upset is because you made the disorder seem like not a big deal. Made it seem like it's just like a quirk when it is an incredibly extreme form of PTSD, basically, from people who are children, who are hurt way more than anyone and any adult should be hurt. Children who go through so much shit that they can't fucking handle it. I mean, And the other thing that you need to think about when you look back on your video is the way that you speak about your alters. As someone in a DID system, as an alter, as not the host, not the main one, that's gonna hurt them. You're talking about them like they don't matter. Well, they're just parts of you, so they're not real people. They are real people. And they have feelings separate from yours. And if you say shit about them and talk about them like you don't want them around, that's just going to hurt them and in turn you more. Be smart. Take care of yourself. Please. Take care of your alters, please. Just realize why this was probably a mistake and why you should do more research. I'm not saying you can't talk about having DID. I'm not saying you can't be open about it. But for the love of God, figure out what it is you want to say. Figure out the facts of the disorder. Talk to a therapist. Try again. Just try again. Do better. I know you can. And it's not fair to you or any of us, the way that it was handled. It was probably an oversight. So I forgive you for that. I'm not mad. I understand. Just try again.